Good morning, everyone. It's not even morning, it's the afternoon, but you already know. It's your girl, Sarah, and you already know. And welcome to another day, another dollar. It's like not another day on the Against the Grain About the Salt Potty podcast. Today, I am going to talk about work bay, work husbands and wives. For those of you who are the working class, I know you've heard about what a work husband or a work wifey is. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on it, and bear with me because what do you mean you have a work day? Or and this is really because if you're in a relationship, particularly married, I feel like having a work bae, work husband is detrimental to your relationship. I used to work at the post office. OMG. If y'all know about the post office, it's ratchet. Okay. And I worked with like 100 people. My office was 3 cities combined. You can only imagine the mental space I really just didn't have for myself because it's dealing with all these personalities. And then on top of that, management is just ugh. So what I'm talking about today is basically what I saw at the job. And I thought it was rather interesting because I always put myself in the position of what would I be like at work if I had a husband. And I was single then, single now, you already know. And no one in my entire career there has ever been able to say I was their work wifey, okay? Except for my friend Madi. Madi called me her work wifey. That was my rolie. We locked in, okay? We were in that job together, struggling together. Madi only called me her work wifey, and it's funny because we had a memory. She sent me a memory from December 11th, and it was me and her, and she was like my work wifey. So it's so funny. I thought about making this episode because that put something in my mind to express with you guys. So, but as far as a man, no man in there was ever able to call me work wifey because immediately no. Y'all don't get that luxury, okay? Because y'all not about to be calling me wifey and I'm really not your wifey. Because what I learned in there is that everyone's for the streets. Okay, everyone's for the streets. And I'm not passing any judgment on anybody who had a work wife or a work husband. That's your business. These are my thoughts and what I saw. So basically, I knew there were a lot of married people at the job. There were people who were single. There were people who had boyfriends and girlfriends. What really struck a nerve in me was the fact that people had husbands and wives and they were still okay calling someone else their work wifey, work hubby. I don't even want another man to think he has a chance with me when I'm married. That's me. I don't want you to think that you can get the luxuries that my husband gets. Even the word wifey, like don't call me that. Because as soon as you do that, here goes how things go. It was interesting because people would buy, I remember when I first got there, the men wanted to buy me food, they wanted to buy me things, and I was just like, I'm good. Like if I wasn't interested, I was like, I'm good. And most times I wasn't. But when I was like, okay, you can buy me something, not thinking anything of it, come to find out you're married, sir, keep your money. I feel like what are we doing? Why are we acting like we're so mature and so like invested in our real relationships that even if we buy somebody something, it's not going to mean anything? Are y'all good? And the thing I think that I find interesting is that I don't know if people did this when they were at the job. Are you letting your spouse know that you bought someone else of the opposite gender food? I feel like if there's transparency, by all means, have a work day, cool. But are y'all going home telling them what your work husband did to you today? How he was lingering around your cubby? How he wanted to buy you something to eat? Are you telling him how he walking up behind you? Why y'all walking up behind me? I'm not yours. And I personally will not have a work husband because I have a husband. I'm single and I didn't have no work husband because I just feel like that's too much. And my thing is I like exclusivity. So if you're gonna call me your husband, your work wifey, you're my work husband, you don't talk to nobody else the way you talk to me. You know, we gotta work and stuff, but you ain't gotta be flirting with everybody. And that's the thing I saw at the post office. Everybody and their mama was flirting. And you know, I'm single, so I'm like flirting. But once I knew that you had somebody, I wasn't flirting with you, especially if you were married. The amount of men in that job who just be giving it up. This man acting like he out here Santa Claus in it, buying women things all over the place. I could get you this, I could get you that. I don't want you to give me anything. Go get your wife. Why are we like for real? Go get your wife. Because when you give the enemy an inch, he'll take the whole mile. What you mean we on the phone for hours? That was another thing I noticed. Y'all on the phone for hours with people that don't belong to you. There is nothing I have to talk to, and there's nothing to talk about with a man that's married. Like if I needed you for something, cool. We'll make it'll be a quick conversation about what I need as far as the job. But I'm not about to be on the phone breathing on the phone with you for hours. I can talk to you for hours. No. I that was the boundary I had. I was never on the phone with a man that was married all night long. I wasn't. I wasn't texting nobody. Also, you could not text me after certain hours at the post office because what does this look like if you're married? Like I'm a girl's girl. What are we doing here? I think also people like, oh no, that's just my coworker. I don't care if my husband met you. I don't care if your wife met the female that you call your work wifey. I don't care. That doesn't give. I feel like giving space for that. There's competition here. There's two people. Wife? Does she have a ring? I would like the ring. You know what I'm saying? And I saw so many things that got misconstrued, intertwined. Feelings build when you spend time with people. That's just inevitable. And working at the post office, if you work jobs like 12-hour jobs, you're gonna create relationships with people because you have to see them, but you have to have boundaries. Like I just thought it was baffling because I'm like, will I be able to be free in my relationship with my husband knowing that he got to go to work with these dusties, these females, because the females just be giving it up. You know he married. Why you all up in his face? Why you all up in his face? You know she married. Why you all up on her back? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because your wife is not here doesn't mean she's not gonna know what's going on. God knows what's going on. Same thing with the husbands. And I just thought it was so weird. It's just like, oh, it's so frustrating. And but then I thought to myself, one, when I get into a relationship with a man, I'm going to trust you until you give me not a reason to trust you. And if I don't trust you anymore, we're just not gonna be in a relationship because I can't be everywhere. I can't do everything. But that's a conversation that I'm gonna have with him. Hey, have you ever had a work bay? How will you handle having a work wifey? Do you want a work wifey? As long as me and you are together, I don't want you to have a work wifey. Let me explain that. Because you're giving an inch. I don't want anyone to think that they could just have time with you. They might misunderstand the time you're giving them. You know what I'm saying? Like people, especially, my man gonna be fine. People gonna want you already. And with girls, they're delusional. And the thing is, women like what they can't have. Same thing with men. Men like what they can't have. Women like a man that's married, and I'll never understand that. I remember very minutely, very vaguely, that I thought, oh, a married man is fine, but I never wanted to mess with a married man. I'm not messing with no married man because that's between God. And I rebuked myself back in as a child, not even understanding that. Why would I want somebody who's married? Ugh, it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like they out here, I'm seeing people buying people stuff, spending time going out to lunch, going out to dinner. And then the thing that's sick about it, when we would have like holiday parties or anything where you could bring your significant other, it's like, oh, they bring them around, but now the energy is a little different. Why you not on work day the way you be at work on work day Monday through Saturday? What happened? Why you not on her back? Why you not on his lap? Because y'all out here foul. And my thing is like, you want to measure other people the way you would measure yourself. Would you want somebody on your man? But people will be like, oh, it wouldn't bother me. Of course it wouldn't bother you because you're just dusty. Don't be dusty. Don't be slow. Don't be giving it out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's a conversation you have to have with your man and your girl. Are you having a work day? In my book, no. Because I saw exactly firsthand what happens when you have work days. They start bringing you stuff. Stop bringing me stuff. Like, we could have a platonic relationship, but like, watch yourself. And I feel like if when I have my husband, I'm gonna tell him like, hey, this man at the job, he pressing me like a panini. He all up on me. I'm just telling you so you know. so we could go to prayer about it. Because I don't want anything lingering, and I don't feel like you telling your significant other, because some people tell them how many people trying to talk to them out of jealousy, like trying to make them jealous. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I feel like there's certain things you just can handle yourself. But if the guy is pressing you to the point where it's like uncomfortable, I would bring that up to my husband. Same thing I would want him to do with me. Like, okay, if there's a girl liking you, cool. You don't gotta tell me every girl that's trying to talk to you. But if there's a girl that's really pushing you and you feel like it's too much, let's go to prayer about it. Let's figure out tools and ways to not to go around it. Because I'm telling you now that you couldn't convince me that having a work bay is okay and you're married. Are you good? I believe in friends. This is my friend. I'm like, we good, we work together closely on projects and stuff like that. I would never say work wifey, work husband. We're not married. I'm not trying to marry more than one person. You know what I'm saying? And out of respect. And then there's another thing with the flirting. People think flirting is harmless. It's starting a fire. And if you're not ready to put that fire out, stop starting it. Excuse me. I had to learn that. I stay working on here. I learned, and I have a very, like, I'm very kind and nice, and people would think that I'm flirting. I'm not flirting with you. I'm just being kind. You think I'm flirting, I'm just chilling. But then I also understood how somebody told me, they gave me feedback on what they saw. They're like, you flirt with everyone. I'm like, I'm not. But it made me look into myself. I was like, okay, now I see it from a different perspective. Let me, make a little fine tuning, but I'm not going to stop being who I am. But I do know, you know, even when I want to flirt with somebody that is single, it's like, Sarah, if you're not ready to, if you ain't ready to put this fire out, don't be starting no fires. Flirting to me is cheating. Why are you giving someone any type of hope? I don't want to make you feel good in that sense that you think that I like you. You could make someone feel good without making them think that you want to do anything outside of the conversation you're having. I'm not flirting with no man, and I got a man. And if you're like me, it's like you ain't really got to do much. And it's like, oh, you don't want nobody to think that. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop showing your teeth. Stop receiving gifts. Stop. Because I just feel like a man being your friend, I'm realizing men don't just be friends with females. Females could be friends with men if that's really if they're not attracted. But if they're attracted to you, they're playing the long game too. They're like, oh, he don't like me right now, but who will like me? I might put a booty cheek on him. I might show him a thigh. Don't do it. I'm not even at work to make friends. If you find a genuine friend, that's different. Like, I mean, genuine. But I'm not here to make friends with the opposite sex. I'm here to get the job done. Especially if I got a man. Especially if I got a man. What do y'all think? Would y'all have a work bay? Like, how was your experience if you were work bay? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you do? If you're not my boyfriend or my husband, I'm not claiming you at that job. Not claiming you because we're exclusive out here. I don't play that. If you for the streets, you for the streets. If I signed up to be for the streets, I'm signed up to be for the streets. But if I didn't sign up for this, back up off me. Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me because, like I said, men are not just friends with you. They trying to see how they can feel on your booty. Keep that booty to yourself. And but I feel like everyone's relationship is different. Just because I would do it, don't mean you would do it. But I'm curious to know, like, how many of you are okay with work days? And if I ever meet a girl and she calling my man work hubby, he not calling her his work wifey. She calling him work hubby, and she do it in front of me. I don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all. And I'm not even saying it in a point like I'm gonna lose it. I really don't know what I would do because I might. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. Whereas, you filling up on my man and I'm standing here, sis, I'm gonna mean mug you. I don't want to put hands on nobody. We don't put hands, but I'm definitely gonna say something like, was really good. You good? Because why are you touching him? That's mine. So yeah, I don't know. I do know. Work bay is off limits for me. What about you guys? We're gonna talk some more. It's your girl Sarah. You already know. I'm see y'all on the flip side of America. You heard me?